What's good? Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.
The Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis doesn't happen without you, so please subscribe.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show with my brother, everybody's favorite
Looking
host,
at my
BD.
Draymond Green fucking fantasy. Okay, sleeper. Hey, Dre. 80 points. 80 points. 80 points.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wow.
80 points. We not playing, bro. Defensive player of the year. I gotta run it real quick. I gotta run the program. Hold on. Just show you what you did. Well, you already know what you did. But defensive player of the year candidate, Draymond Green, went 18, 8, 5, 1 block. Ooh, no steals, though. Only 2 fouls and 2 turnovers.
No, I had a steal. They shorted me.
You know what? They did short you, bro.
I had a steal. They shorted me.
Hey, y'all got to stop doing my dog like that. Deflections are steals in Draymond Green's world.
It's rough.
We got to get that deep, what is it?
That's a fact. You knocked him.
Come on, that's a steal,
knocked the ball
bro.
away and my team
at least get half of steals. How you feeling on the road, bro?
You know what I'm saying, son? I feel great, brother. I kicked it last night with Trav, and when we got in here to Boston, I'm by the way, this hotel bring me great memories, man. I was recording podcasts in this hotel after wins.
That was sick.
And so in the finals, this is great. But you know, we got to Boston, and I sat in my room and kicked it with Trav, and every now and then, used to be more frequently, but you know, they start to grow up on you, man. And every now and then, though, I get a text. And when I get this text message, BD, it be my rook, my young fella. He'll hit me and he say, hey, man, can I come through? And he just come through and he just sit and listen to me talk. And I just try to give him a bunch of game. And we just sit and chop it up. And we sat here till 4-something in the morning last night with my young fella, my rook, who I have the honor of welcoming to the show today. Moses Moody. What's up, young fella?
Glad to be here, man. Glad to finally be on.
I'm excited to welcome Champ to the show. You know, we always talk about things that you need something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And like in this league, just saying I'm in the league ain't enough. Like you need something to talk about. And you, yourself, which means me, myself, and the way I feel, just when they got you a bag.
Come on,
congratulations.
Man.
You signed the extension
paper
with the Warriors. Your first extension. How does it feel to get that first extension? And did you go buy yourself something once you got that extension?
So, you know, being in the NBA, you get there, you got this image of what the NBA is like on what it is as a kid growing up. But then just like going through life and everything and just being able to separate the two between the NBA and then real life, and just having that like financial stability, like that life changing money, life changing situations. It's easy to take that for granted when you're stuck in the NBA world, but separating it, you're really able to appreciate what that is, what you're doing it for. So the first extension is amazing for me, and just appreciative of it, and just kind of solidified stuff for me a little bit, and now you can just hoop and have fun with it. So yeah, that's been everything for me.
And would you say is that motivation? You know, like. Because usually you sign that contract, you're like, all right, here's what I did. I committed to this. Now, you know, what is the next phase? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I try not to get too caught up in the like, you know, what's next, what I'm trying to get to next, and like because I've been working for this so hard. So first, I want to be able to appreciate what I did, and then being able to get that. But being it's the NBA season, you got a game tomorrow, so you can't really bask in it too long. But yeah, just somewhere in the middle of it is, you know, working for the next thing while I've been appreciating what I did.
That's big time. BD, did you have like what would you say your most lavish buy was while you was in the
I
NBA, Moody?
probably bought like a house, I guess. Yeah, I probably bought a house. I bought a house in New Orleans. This big ass house in the Garden District. That shit was haunted. Uh, Bro, I was scared as hell. That shit was haunted. It took me like a year to remodel this shit. I had the worst year in my life when I was remodeling. Next year it was cracking, but yeah, it was a big. And then the house turned into be the real world's house, real world New Orleans. So they trashed my shit. Yeah, when they
Oh,
took the
wow.
toilet to the toothbrush, the one. Yeah, so I would say that was it. I bought a big ass house and didn't even need it. I ain't as smart as you, Moses. You know what I mean?
I never bought my first house. I never bought my first house. My wife and I.
Oh, perfect.
So
I
2020.
remember I remember you was telling me, Dre, we was
So
in the
my eighth
locker room
year.
one day, you was telling me, like before the signing of the deal, it might have been a year ago or so, just talking about when you get it, just just the importance of being able to like keep your money and invest in it rather than tying it up in something too. So and
Yep.
even like getting the deal and everything is that's really been the biggest thing I've been on, just trying to figure out money, learn money, because I ain't never had it before. So just figuring that out first.
If there was one thing that I could do, I'm sorry. If there was one thing that I could do over again, the one thing I would tell a young guy to get their first big contract is that next year after you just get that first big contract, live the same
On your
life
first
that you
contract.
lived
Absolutely.
on the rookie deal for at least a year. Because if you can save more by living that same life, if you can get ahead on the savings that first year
Mm-hmm.
and help build that nest egg, then moving forward, it makes
Yeah.
everything else way lighter. But when you adjust your lifestyle the first year, then you start picking up the bigger
Yeah,
bills and you don't necessarily get to
totally.
save as much. Saying it. So that would be my advice. And getting that first one is like that for 1 year. The same apartment
Yeah.
that you live in that same apartment. The same car you drive that same car. Like all of those
Yeah.
things, at least for the first year,
Yeah, I
just
would
keep them
also,
all the same.
yeah, I would add
It'll
to
really
that
help you get ahead.
is basketball is free. Everything you do in the NBA, you get for free. You know what I mean? So what do you need all this money for? Right. And
Yeah.
so that's a good way to look at it is like, yo, I live for free. I hoop for free. I go to the gym. I eat for free. Like my lifestyle is free. So what do you need to go and spend on being extravagant for what? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. And me being from like I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, I ain't never had much growing up. So some people ain't never had nothing. So when they get something, they want to wild out. But
Yeah.
that ain't really me. Like I ain't never had nothing, so I'm cool with not much, honestly. So just being able to, because I heard somebody told me that a while ago, like you don't need to be rich when you're 20 years old. You need to be rich when you're 50, when you got kids and
Yeah.
grandkids and whatever that's. Then you need some money for real. So
Yeah, you
I
do.
ain't, I ain't in too much of a rush to change up.
The problem with that is the earlier you get rich,
Yeah.
the better, because there's this thing called
Yep.
compounding interest that the sooner you get the money, the more money it
Right.
makes
Yep.
for you. So that must have been a broke person that told you you ain't
Yeah.
need to have
No,
money
they
till you're
said it
50.
like you don't need to exploit or worry about being rich in your 20s, saving
Right.
money, be rich in your 50s.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Cause saying you
So
need to
you
get the money, but you don't need to
Okay.
spend it until you older. You need it. You need
yeah.
to get it. Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
that's great
Yes. All
advice.
right. I was about to say. Now that is great advice. I thought they were saying,
No.
all right now. All right now. I
Who
respect
is
that.
this person talking to my
All
dog?
right.
No, he got it right.
All right now. We got to question you. You trying to tell him he'll need to have money until he's 50.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But moving into obviously what we all want to talk about.
The hoop season.
It's just going into this season. You know, you're going into you just started your fourth year, not going into you just started your fourth year. But just want to rewind a little bit, just going back to the beginning of preseason. I felt like you approached this season with a different mindset, and not a different mindset in the aspect of your work ethic because I've always seen you work since you've been here. I always tell people like, Kevon Looney is the most professional player I've ever played with when it comes to just being an absolute pro. And second to him is you. And, you're second because you just don't have the body of work and the length. But the way you've always gone about your business is admirable and respectable. But like I said, I felt like you approached this year, this preseason, the season with a different mindset. What were some of those goals that you set for yourself to come in with this new mindset and this, I felt like at times before you'd be aggressive and then like not know. And like now it's just like you seem more certain of what it is and who you are. Just talk to me about that and making that adjustment.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of that was this summer, like going into it, because as much as you got to stay level headed and not worry about whatever it is. Like I went into training camp with like I can sign a contract this year, not knowing what it's gonna be and trying to figure that out. Like this is so going into training camp, kind of showing what I've been working on. But this summer I was working out at Proactive with my guy Dash and all, and I was really just learning a lot about footwork and how to be the guy, what angles you're trying to get to and stuff like that. And that was really big for me because my whole life I've been a hard worker. Like I've been a workhorse. But realizing that like it's more about what you're working on and how hard you're working sometimes.
Totally.
So that was the biggest thing that switched for me this summer and going into the season, even mindset wise. So that was big. And I think that kind of showed a lot of the progress. But then to answer your question, the mindset going in is, and the difference of it is kind of just been like I know what to expect now. I know what the NBA like. I know what coaches is like. This and that. And for me, it's really just been I'm trying to get playing time, trying to stay in the rotation, trying to do what your coach wants. Like that was kind of the game that I played a lot earlier on. But then once you play that game long enough, you realize, man, it's gonna be how it's gonna be, no matter what you do, honestly. So I'ma just hoop and then let all that go how it do.
Yeah, I like that. Steph returned to playing the Wizards game. Okay, it's like a tongue twister. I can't say withered. I said it with a list. But before that, you started 3 games without Steph. And you was balling. And what I saw was, Steph being active on the bench with you. Can you talk about, how it felt, how you feeling in those 3 games, but then also just the relationship, as a young dude, making this progress that you got with your vets like Steph and definitely Dre.
Yeah, yeah. It's been an ideal situation for me. Just coming into the league and having these vets, having these dudes. But something that I learned, like as I got older, is that just because you got the people there, don't mean you're gonna learn nothing from them, don't mean you're gonna get the best from them. You gotta earn that. Like you gotta get that respect. I ain't just gonna sit up here and talk to somebody that might not want to get talked to, might not want to learn nothing. So, like part of the professionalism that I come with every day, dealing with anybody, is to get that relationship and get that respect. Like if I'm showing up late to everything we dealing with, then you might not want to. You gonna come with a different
Yep.
thing to offer. But I want to get everything I can get from Dre's and Steph's and CP's and dudes that I've been around. So that's why I ask so many questions. I'm opening that door so you don't got to worry about how to talk to me. I'll tell you, like, I want the game. I want to talk about it. Like I would go to Dre all the time on the plane and we'll watch film together. But it's just because I want you to be okay to come talk to me about anything because I want that from you. You got to
Love
earn
that.
that and get that from people. So like you was asking about Steph in particular, that's a big thing with him. I feel like he's not a guy that's gonna come up to you and just give you game. Like I want you to have this. I'm gonna talk to you. But if you ask him a question, he'll go on for however long you want to talk to him. You just got to
Too
go.
long.
Right. You got to go knock on the door, and then he all
Yeah.
ears. He ready to do it, but you just so that's the best one.
Love that.
That man give you the
He be
most
talking.
profound answer. He walk you through every step of it. We could be in practice, one of them going to him for advice. We be moved on to the next drill. He still be over there in the corner talking to him. We all just be standing in the huddle, standing there looking at him, waiting for him to stop.
Right.
Give you the most profound answer.
Yeah, this one-on-one too. He ain't doing it in front of everybody for everybody to see. Like, no, he's talking to
Yeah,
you.
that's killer.
That's it. No, nobody else have a clue what the hell you're talking about. It's very quiet. It's over there amongst them too, and that's
Hey, Moses,
Steph.
I do
That is
got a
his way of
question.
going
Have
about
you
it.
ever asked Steph a question and he go, "Oh man, I don't know." You're like, damn, like, oh man,
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's the thing that I like about Steph is that like he really real, and like so far even to say like if he don't know the answer to the question, he'll be like, nah, I don't know, and he's not gonna come up with a fake answer because he's supposed to know or whatever that is. And he'll go figure it out and come back and tell you. But if he don't know, he'll say that.
Yeah, I know. Dre
100%.
asked him about that shot in the Olympics. I mean, I've seen you've seen him make incredible shots. Do you ever go up to him and be like, "Yo, how'd you do that?" And I wonder if it's the same answer he gave Draymond.
I I really ain't never went up to him and asked him after because I ain't seen him to do so many things a lot. But nah, I ain't never went up to him
Yeah,
else.
he just seemed like hella humble and like he just be doing shit out there and don't know what he be doing, but he be doing it. And he can't explain it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That be the case a lot of okay, I get what you're saying. That be the case a lot of times when I'm asking him about stuff, is that he really just because he's so free spirited with it on the court and everything, it's not everything is completely figured out to
Yeah.
the T. It's like shooting. You know, when I ask him about shooting, I might ask him about a turn that I noticed that he does, or because I'll be
Yeah.
watching, I notice that he does something, and he'll grab a ball and be like, "Well, I guess I do that," and then he'll tell me where it came from or something, but he didn't realize he did it. Do it every shot.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. That's Steph though, and that is his greatness though. Like you just be in it, right? Like just doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
he
nah,
not
for sure.
overanalyzing. That's yeah.
It's funny. I heard him say the other day. He said yesterday, that's one thing Steph ain't gonna do. Steph, the last thing he gonna do is sit there and overanalyze the situation, which explains, I mean, it doesn't explain it all, but which also explains like a part of his greatness and why he can shoot the way he shoot because he have short-term memory. We was breaking a huddle yesterday and Steph hit his first three on the court and BP said something like, ooh, first three back out there, you knock it down. Touch my hand so I can hit the shot. And Steph said, I should touch your Steph touched his hand. He said, I should touch your head. Get all out your head. Get out your brain and go play. I need to touch your brain. Get out of here. Get all out of your head and go play. And like, but that's how he is. It's always just like, yo, what you thinking about? Like, why you thinking? And and he just do. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I said, that's a part of his greatness. And it being year four for you, you won a championship in your first year. So you know how it looks. You know what things look like. You know how it feels. A lot of guys in year four can't say that. You know, you won your first championship before I won my first championship, which I don't necessarily love, but it's cool. I'll give you that one. But in saying that, a lot of talk has been put on this about the depth of this team. What is your takeaway about this team? Like, what stands out most to you about this team?
It would have to be the depth. I mean, just talent wise, with so many guys, so many players, and given that I have been able to see what the playoffs is like, what the stretch is like, is the biggest thing is that it's not about the first five. Like it's not you get to the playoffs and then it always seemed like, man, they would have won only if that dude didn't get hurt or if that
Yeah.
situation was different. And that's the biggest thing about going down the stretch is that it's not going to be as you planned. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the way it was supposed to be. So having enough to withstand almost anything is a superpower. Is a cheat code almost.
Yeah, that's a fact. I always say to people, you win championships 6 through 10. You don't win championships 1 to 5. We see great 1 to 5s all the time. Every team is almost built to have a great 1 to 5. Like everybody's built. Like, who's my starters?
Yep.
If you just have that, you're screwed. Like it is absolutely necessary that your 6 to 10 be strong. Your 6 to 10 need to be able to win you games in the regular season, which in turn, if they can win you games in the regular season, they may sneak you one during the playoffs. But during the playoffs, your best players got to be
Totally.
playing great. Ain't no sneaking games. Well, you know me, I know you. Best players got to be playing great, but your 6 through 10 got to be strong. In the playoffs, it become 8 and sometimes it become 9, but that got to be so strong in order to win, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, how would you describe your
Yeah.
experience playing defense alongside my dog, Draymond Green? And then also, we talked about like previous episodes, how like it was a challenge, guarding somebody like Jason Kidd. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got SGA coming up. Talk about, guarding players like that, but then also, you got the man right here, this defensive player of the year right here. Like how has, the experience with you and Dre, affected your defensive game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would talk about it my rookie year to where it's like I'll be guarding somebody and it feel like they just hesitant, like they don't want to make moves a certain way, and they because they see me and then they don't want to attack there, attack here, and then I realized the fact that it's like in a movie or something, to where it's like the dude in the front, I'm only looking at you, but then I got this big old dude behind me
Yeah.
that they see, and then now they acting a certain way, this and that. And then as I've been able to become a better defender too, now I can mess with them. I can take more gambles and kind of affect the ball, affect that, because they always have that hesitancy. That because Dre, he not like halfway showing, like, no, he's standing right here, like where you we double teaming you almost, and because he can react and get back to where he's supposed to be. So just having that behind you at all times, it just lets you become a different player,
I
different
like
defender.
that. And so, yeah, and then
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
that's big shout out, man. Like, to have that big dude behind, have that big old security dude,
Yeah.
that big old OG gangster. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I can
Yeah.
gamble. I can be out here gambling, boy. It's a beautiful thing. And then talk about like, you are now your 4th year, so you're gonna be facing the Donovan Mitchells now, the SGAs. Like y'all got them 2 coming up. What do you think about their game, and what's your strategy on your approach when you playing against these superstar shooting guards?
It's like, since I was talking about like learning the game and everything throughout the summertime, like I was watching a lot of film on a lot of different guys, and I watch it differently because now I'm looking at footwork. Why are you good? Why do you score? Why do you beat this guy? Why do you beat people all the time? So I was thinking about it for myself, but even on the defensive end, now that you understand it both ways, and that allows me to kind of realize too, like when you're dealing with those guys, everybody says that you don't stop uh, SGA or whatever player, like some of those top players, but you can make them do what
Right.
you want them to do. And then defense being able to send them to the help, being able to take away a couple things and just have a game plan like that. That's the more you understand the game, the more you simplify it, and that's what you can do on the defense end.
I always speak about it, as I said before, just your professionalism and your demeanor. You being You're quiet to most, although you're not quiet if you know you, but you more have a quiet, more reserved personality. Um, and so for me personally, I always like to speak you up, speak up things I think you do well, you as a person, all of these things, about your game. But in assessing yourself, what is it that you hang your hat on when speaking of your game that you like, this is who I am, this is what I hang my hat on, this is what separates me from my peers? What is that to you, for you?
Yeah, I would say shooting is my thing, and that's been like I've gotten better at it, figured it out, and all of that. But shooting is the thing that I do. But then outside of that, I've been working on like ball handling and being able to control the ball, come off pick and rolls, and kind of read situations like that. Um, the hustle plays and all of that. I've had to do it so much to where that's part of me now. And then defense, I can guard 1 through 4. You can switch me on the 5 if you need to every once in a
That's
while.
what's up.
But really just that multi-purpose. But shooting is my thing.
The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's cool. Official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in a single elimination in-season tourney. It was great last year, culminating in the NBA Cup championship in Vegas. First time? Here's something special. New DraftKings customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Score big. Use the code Colin. So you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Please use the code Colin. New customers get $150 in bonus bets, betting just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Klay Thompson is about to return to the Chase Center for the first time. Damn. This next week too. What do you expect to be what do you expect for the atmosphere? And then also, if you were to describe your relationship with Klay Thompson, how would you what words would you choose?
Yeah. Klay is such a, like, everybody talk about like free spirited and this and that, but Klay really just a real dude. He don't do nothing for no ulterior motives. He not doing this because it looks good or because these people gonna think. No, he's doing it because he wants to.
Boss.
And but even like dealing with him, that's been my dog since I've been here in conversations. It's that same feeling. Like, he let you on the boat because he want to hang out with you for a while, not because no other reason. Like, so we still be playing chess and stuff all the time. It's just an authentic relationship with an authentic dude. So he real.
Who been winning in chess?
I've been hot lately. I got him like 3-4 games in a row. But before that, I was talking to you and told you he was getting off. He had me like 5 games in a row. I just started fighting back. So yeah, we pretty. He up like 2 games though on the record.
BD, what you about to say, BD?
No, I'm just looking forward to this matchup. I already know. Klay called Draymond the op.
Yeah, he did.
He called Dre the op. Ooh,
yes, he did.
Called y'all the ops. So
check this out,
Klay coming in the Chase Center. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to come out for that one.
Listen, check this out, Mo. So, I'm working out at Eula this summer, and Dallas come in. Well, Kyrie, Klay, a couple other guys, they come in at the gym after I finish my workout. And I had to run that day because I had Pilates right after. So as soon as I finished, and I didn't get to see Klay, but I saw a couple of other guys. And then Trav saw Klay come in, and Trav was talking to Kyrie. And Klay walked up to Kai like, Kai, don't be talking to the ops. So then Trav came and told me that Klay said that. He was like, you think he was serious? And I was like, well, it's Klay, so he's joking. But he's definitely a little serious. Like, but he's joking. But he's definitely serious. And so, sure enough, the next day I'm working out, they come in again after me. And I'm talking to Kyle. And he walk up, Kyle, you talking to the ops?
Wow.
And I said,
love this.
Try. There's definitely some seriousness to it. He just said the same thing to me. So therefore, I'm going to run through his chest when we play them now.
Ooh.
I wasn't going to, but now I'm going to run through his chest.
You have to.
And that's where that whole thing came from, because he just like, oh, they the ops. They the ops. Obviously, we all love Klay, but
to
love Klay is to also know that he's gonna come in there trying to murder us.
He's not trying to be our friend.
Yeah, that's why you love Klay. You feel me? I wouldn't expect him to do nothing different. That's
exactly. So I'm looking for. I ain't seen Klay post up with Dallas at all. He gonna be trying to run you to the post mode. He gonna he gonna be on all of that.
That's gonna be. I gotta get to that. I probably gotta show up and pop up for that game. That's gonna be a historic game. I know. Y'all gotta treat Klay like the op too. You know what I mean? You can't let him get an op advantage because he a dog. You know what I mean?
He's not with us no more.
Yeah, he engineering that war room right now for y'all.
Yeah, you know how everybody talk about like saying like you playing against your friend or a brother, whatever it is, and then everybody be like, oh, they playing buddy ball, this and that. But when you really dealing with your brother, and
Yeah.
like it's you play harder than when you playing against anybody else. Like you wanna go at it with him. He been here all this time before I've been here, obviously. So you see him go at it with these dudes, and that's why you
Oh
like
yeah.
him. That's why you like what he brings to the table. So just because he's on the other side don't mean he's still that same dude. And that's why you like him. So, you can't he gonna bust your head if you just like he was busting them other
Yeah.
dudes' head if you
That's
let
a
him.
fact.
You better pay attention.
Don't let your guard down.
That is a
Dog.
fact.
Born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. You transferred to Montverde Academy in Florida after your sophomore year in high school to further your basketball career. Before we get to the stacked squad you were on, who did you model your game after when you were growing up?
Model my game after being from Arkansas, you don't got a team or nothing. So I just grew up watching a lot of different players. I like Ray Allen a lot. I don't shoot like him. I never really modeled my form after him. I just like to watch him.
Yep.
I like Joe Johnson being
Yep.
from Little Rock. I grew up watching a lot of different guys though. Yeah, so just taking certain things from different guys and really just being a fan of the sport.
That's what's up.
And then too, guys in my city. Like I don't only watch NBA players. I ain't only take like I'm watching this. My homeboy I'm in middle school, he in high school, going crazy. I'm watching
That's
his game.
fact. I had a guy like that growing up. Man, we had Anthony Roberson, Pete.
Oh, that's
And
my
we used to
dog.
watch Pete, man. Pete was crazy.
That
Pete
was
used to
my
come
dog.
across half court, freshman, come dribbling across half court, and the whole gym, literally, when he starts dribbling the ball from the backcourt, everybody go, ah. As he cross half court, it get louder. Ah, then he raise up. Ah, ooh, hey, man. He
That's
was kicking the ball
crazy.
so crazy. And like Big Reg in my hometown playing at the Vets Park and Steel Bill, Dale, and all these guys, Sean Matthews. I learned how to like the tricks and the trades of the basketball game from those guys. Like
Yep.
them old heads, 38 years old, they still playing in the rec leagues, and OG Fred Harvey. I learned, to your point, Mo, I learned a lot of tricks. My Uncle Benny, I learned a lot of tricks to the trades from playing against those guys.
Right.
Yeah. So, no, that's fire. Hey, man, told him, man, Moses from Little Rock, Arkansas, man. You just ain't getting that from many people, man. You're not getting that from many people.
Genuine.
But your senior year, you were on the number one team in the country. Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, Ryan Nimhart.
What?
Yeah, they team was crazy.
That's crazy.
Y'all had a couple more guys I feel like we missing up, right?
Yeah, they run sharp, Tariq Whitehead, Caleb Houston,
dude.
Langston Love, Dale Jackson.
That was NIL before NIL. How much they pay you? How much they pay you? Shit, they had to pay you.
Yeah, because that team right there, because me and Kate and Ryan, we all went there the year before, so we was already there, and then they became that. So it wasn't even like they put that team together like on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy team.
That's
man.
a sick team, dude.
But you and Cade Cunningham were roommates. How was it being roommates with Cade? As we get into this, like your living situation, you move out of your parents' house, you move to Montverde, Florida, and you're rooming with Cade Cunningham. That first experience with a roommate, how was that?
It was different for sure. Well, for me, I grew up with dudes. Like I'm always in my homeboy house. I got my brother, I got cousins. Like I grew up around people, so that part wasn't hard for me. But my first year there, I can't even put it on the scale how small that room was we was in. But like in the room, my bed is here, Cade bed is here. It's like this much room in between the two beds. Like it's crazy how small this room is. So given that was the situation, we used to get into it about stuff. Like we used to always get into it because he liked to have a light off in the room in daytime, and I'm like, it's daytime. I don't want to be sitting here depressed. And so we used to get into it about some off. Like I'm leaving the room and then the light on my side. So if I want the light on, I'm
That
gonna turn
sound
that
like
mug
jail,
on.
bro.
And so that year we used to get into it a lot, but it wasn't never like we really into it. We didn't argue much, but that's my dog, especially now. And then the second year we had a bigger room and everything, and we brothers at that point. So where you argue like brothers, it's not even so. And you living with these dudes, we on the road together playing basketball together, but we just got a special relationship from being so close all the time, even when you don't want to be. So, oh yeah, that's my dog.
With a team like that, the better player then at that time is not how it always turns out, like to be the better pro. When you look at y'all team, has it shaped out kind of the way that y'all thought it would shape out from that point of like who was the top dog or who's having the better NBA career? Like how has that shaped out for that team?
It's probably like similar to the way it was when we was there, honestly. Cade was the #1 player in the country, being there. Scotty was top 5, top 10 or whatever it was. And then and me and Dayron, like in the rankings or whatever, it was so much because we had so many dudes on that team to where we got 10 guys that are all top 20, like top 50 or whatever in the rankings. So like coach trying to play everybody, but then the younger guys, this and that. So he would always play Cade and Scotty, they #1 and #3 in the country or whatever they are. So they gotta kind of get a little more, but they can't even get that much more. And then we beating teams by 50, so we gotta stop playing by the third quarter. So everybody averaged like 11, 10 points a game. So then on the ranking side and all that, now guys don't look as good, this and that, but it was all up in the air. Who cares?
If you could do it all over again, would you make that same decision?
100%, definitely. And honestly, I didn't like it when I was there a lot of times. And with that being said, that team that I was on is probably my favorite team I've ever played on outside of basketball. But when I was there, like you got to keep in mind, bro, I'm leaving my city at like 15, 16 years old, going to live in Florida with a bunch of dudes. Montverde has students from 93 different countries.
Wow.
So you got the Africans over here, the Brazilians over here, you dealing, and as a kid from Little Rock, I'm exposed to the world. And so even what that did to me growing up, and then like mentally, I'm getting cool with the ADs and the teachers and the advisors, this and that, and working your way through a system and an organization and like having to think for yourself as a grown man at 16, what that did for me growing up is irreplaceable experience, especially for a kid.
That's fire. You got a lot of dogs in your draft class, and being a lottery pick comes with expectations. Did you know that the Warriors were going to draft you with the 14th pick?
I thought so. I didn't know for sure. No, you can't know. But going into it, like I had a big range that I could have went from like 7 to 25. Like I didn't have a guarantee or nothing like that going into it. So they had two chances in my spot. And then I worked out with them, and then I came back and worked out again. That was the only place I worked out at twice, and I played really well. So
that's what's up.
I knew it was a big chance. Yeah.
But look at this. This is the day of the draft.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it says, who at 14? He said, at the same time, it's 9:20 p.m. here, so 6:20 back. I say, Bob, as he's texting in Moody, if he's there, I'm saying, Moody, question mark? I said, damn, I'm good. Ha, ha, ha. I love that pick. So, needless to say, I was on the Mo Moody train.
You was on it.
Before I met the young fella.
That's amazing, dude.
I was on the train before I met the young fella. Absolutely.
But if you remember though, I was at Rich House in the summertime, and you came through, and like I was like y'all was really just talking. I was kind of just listening to y'all talk, and even bro, it's crazy. before coming to the NBA, I would really just be sitting there thinking about like just who I wanted to be around in the NBA. And you was at the top of the list of guys that's like, I don't know this dude. I don't know what he's like, how it is, but I don't know what I want to get from him, why I want to be around him, but that just seemed like a cool dude to be around and learn from a little bit, just from what not even what you saying to me, but what you would say to other people, and just because I like watching people. So that when I had that thought beforehand, and then when we was over there, when it was at Rich House that time, I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna get to sit here and do it even now, but not knowing what the future was
I
gonna
remember
be.
that. Y'all they was out there for pre-draft, and you was over Rich House, and we was sitting in the back. I remember that like it was yesterday. And it was after that, I just knew you had a maturity to you, and Rich was sitting there vouching for you. And the thing about it, and Rich had been vouching for you and talking to you about me, but the thing about Rich is me and Rich can have an honest conversation. Like, he ain't gonna vouch for everybody to me because he know I'll call him out. Like, I ain't buying that. And he was really, really high on you. And so I ended up watching a lot of your film. And when I watched, because I've always, like for the last 7-8 years, I've maybe not so much the last couple years, but originally I would have a lot to say in the draft process. And I would like be in it, and I would watch film, and I would study and like, do all these things and talk to people like. And so I knew a lot about you already. And when we sat back there and we talked, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were watching like some playoff games or something. And we had that conversation. Like, I just knew you had a different level of maturity than the average 18-year-old. And, that for me was like, yeah, the game is what it is. Like, we already knew that, but that did a lot for me, And so when I was asking, I'm saying Moody, like, it kind of should be him, like, and so that's pretty funny. I forgot all about those text messages, but when you just asked that, it made me remember.
Yeah,
that's big time, bro.
Yeah, you were the first person to hit me after I got drafted too.
Yes, sir.
The brotherhood. Come on,
Clutch
man.
gang. Everybody gonna be mad at that.
Brotherhood's alive.
Yes,
Let
sir.
them be mad, man. I mean, people don't understand that, we all come from different places, but we all come from similar places. And what connects us is that we think and execute and operate on a high level in order to even get here. You know what I mean? And you make so many concessions that when you see somebody that's in the same situation, you're like, man, I know this dude been through something to get here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how that brotherhood form. And people don't. A lot of times, fans don't understand that because it's the journey that make the story. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's the journey that make the story, so it make it easy for you to be in sync and say, "Oh, I want to." Man, Draymond Green is somebody I want to talk. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, man, our DNA. You know who you want to be when you grow up, and you know who you want to hang with when you grow up, and who you admire. That's the beauty of our sport, and what I love about this game is you can admire somebody and never meet them, and then meet them one time. You know what I mean? Like, I saw Kevin Garnett and Chris Webber meet for the first time when they were retired. And they never had a conversation until that moment. And it was just like, the reason why I never said nothing to you, I didn't want to give you an advantage. The reason why I never shook your hand, I didn't want to give you an advantage. Remember you knocked me down? Like, they remember every moment through admiration, but they could never express that on the court because they was battling for that top spot. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I don't want to put no words or whatever, but that sounds kind of similar to Dre and CP being on the team last year, after they battled so much going into it, but then getting around each other, like, oh, you cool.
That's a fact. I hated CP, man. And not only did I hate him, but we were always battling. Like, you gotta think, CP is right at the heart of everything we were trying to accomplish. He was the top dog at point guard. So I come in and I'm watching him and Steph relationship, and I'm like, that ain't gonna work for us to be who we want to be. Like him, like kind of being your big bro. Like I'm just looking at it like, and see, and as you know now, Mo, CP's smart as hell. And so I'm just looking at it and I'm like, yo, he playing on that. Like he using that to like keep you here. But I don't like that. And so I start like being messy in between it, like creating a riff. Like, because I'm like, I need this riff in order for us to be able to move ahead of them. Like, we can't move ahead of them. And you like, big bro. Like, and so I intentionally, like they were super tight. I intentionally start creating a riff. And because I felt like CP was using that to his advantage. Yeah. And then as I'm creating a riff with them, me and CP like this. And under no circumstance do I even want to correct it. And then Uncle Wes tried to really force me to try to correct it. And he didn't force, but you know. And then CP was kind of like, yeah, it can't be it, but not really. And I'm like, fuck it. Like, fuck this. Like, I don't care about it. And I remember when I first, like, me and Blake was at it. And I remember when I first hung around Blake off the court, I was a little skeptical about it because I felt like I had some fear instilled in him. And not fear like he afraid of me, but like a respectful fear of like I gotta deal with this dude.
You had a psychological advantage.
Exactly. I felt like I had that, and I knew, like, I know the type of person I am. If I hang around you, you probably gonna like me. Like, because I'm not an asshole. I don't think I'm bigger than what I am. I'm a normal dude. I'm having fun. If there's some fun to be had, we gonna have fun. Like, we gonna joke. And I know how I am. And so I was a little skeptical about, like, when I was around him the first couple times, I ain't even like say much to him because I wanted to keep that. And then, you know, we end up, you know, kind of getting to know each other better and being cool and moving past it. But that's a real thing, man. That's a very real thing.
You gotta hate everybody, bro. If you try to be that dude or you trying to get that team over the hump, you gotta hate everybody if they ain't your teammate. And you gotta develop that as an edge, you know, because everybody cool, everybody good people. In the off season, dudes got families. You wanna, you hanging out. When that season comes, you gotta find a reason to hate somebody.
Yes, you do.
You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much you love them, how much you admire them, you know what I mean? Like, Sam Cassell, Chauncey Billups, big bro, but there was none of that when it was cracking. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I gotta figure out a way, to level myself up because I ain't about to be nobody little bro to nobody. You know what I mean?
Part. You can't be, man, because when you approach guys like that, they treat you like that. On and on. And you know what's crazy is I remember my rookie year, man, we was playing against Memphis. And Zebo is my big homie. Like, Zebo is Spartan Dog. That's the OG. Yeah. And like something happened on the court and he did my head like this. Now, number one, I hate when people touch my head. Like, and I teach my son, don't let people touch your head. But I also honor our brotherhood at Michigan State.
Legacy.
I honor that. And under no circumstance am I about to do something in this moment and get into it with Zebo about that and it go somewhere else. That's my big bro. And so in the moment, I'm just like,
that's different. Yeah. That's
you know what I'm saying? He shake my head. And in the moment, I was just like, I just kept walking back. And Coach Jackson pulled me over to the side and was like, hey man, like, that's your dad or something like that. And I'm like, nah. He like, I know that's your big homie, but just know in this league, everybody is looking to get an advantage. And so if you let him do that, like, and it, again, it don't have to, it's not like it's just this huge problem. I ain't saying that, but I'm just telling you, if you let people do stuff like that, he could have an advantage on you, and you don't want anybody to have an advantage on you.
Not
And
at all.
so when he told me that, that also gave me like a boost to like, all right, well, I'm at Z-Bo. Like, yeah, that's the big homie, but I'm at him just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And it gave me that confidence to do that. But that's like a key moment in my career because it set the stage for who I became. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
and I think if that like, I don't know y'all situation or whatever, but if you're dealing with somebody that's really your big homie, that's really your brother, big homie, your little brother, then it ain't no limits to like competition or whatever it is. We can go at it 100%, and it ain't. And I know you don't mean nothing else by it because we brothers.
That is 1,000% a fact.
Yeah, it's for them bragging rights for afterwards. You know what I mean? When you hanging in the summer, like, yeah, I cracked you, homie. You know what I mean? Or you don't have to say much, but you got, you know, it's all bragging rights and it's all love. But you gotta go in. You gotta earn your respect in this league, bro. You gotta go take some respect.
That's like when you're dealing with your mans or your best friend, and y'all can argue or y'all can play and say whatever, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're dealing with somebody that you ain't that cool with, then y'all can't
play like that. You better not say that to me just because he said it to me. If you say that to me because he said it to me, or if you say that to him because I said it to him, we're going to jump you. That's how that's going to go.
Just like that.
We're going to jump you. So you should probably not do that again. Because if you think you can do that because we do that to each other, we're going to jump you. Because if I fight you, he's going to fight you too. So just don't do that.
You
don't do that. That ain't for you. That ain't for you, bro.
And that's another thing too. Like I got into it with my homeboys before. Like, yeah, we talk like that when we hanging out, but we don't do that around other people because they gonna think that's like I go for that, and that ain't that. It's you in a special situation.
This relationship hit a little different, man. Ain't that? You and BD drafted 22 years apart. BD was the third pick in the NBA draft. Besides being drafted, is there a particular moment for you from that night on your draft night that stands out in your memory?
Yeah, plenty of them. Really early on, like my whole first year, everything was so new and everything was so exciting from really from like pre-draft, from like I'm chilling at Rich House with Draymond Green. Like I was just on my mama's couch, and now you there, and then you meet LeBron before the season starts. So it's not like you in the NBA. You don't got a team yet, and now you meeting everybody that come through there, and then you in the NBA. Now I'm on a team with Steph. And then you in preseason, and then you in the season, and you playing against all the dudes, and now you in the playoffs. So everything was so new and so much that it really becomes like you numb to excitement, numb to feelings, because you got to be cool through all of this. To where it's like, man, anything can happen tomorrow, man, and I don't even flinch.
It's a whirlwind. You gotta take
man, because it all happens so. Like, it's slowed down now because you kind of get to a point, and now it's not as exciting, this and that. But especially early on, it was
fast,
so much.
It just becomes your reality.
Yep.
Right.
Once it becomes your reality,
and it's a transition period.
Then it's like, all right, this is it's kind of what you expect at that point.
Yeah, it's fast, bro. It's fast. You know what I mean? From the time you get drafted, you're in the city, you're doing a press conference. Then after that, it's on until it stops.
Yeah, and another one, another point to answer that question too. I know you took thinking more basketball stuff, but even like my first time staying at your place in Cabo was something for me because growing up in Little Rock, like all the dudes with money, like they got their chains on and they flashing this and that, and it's cool, pieces on. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm not a very flashy guy, so I really don't need money like that. Like, what do I need it for if that's the only thing? But being able to like get here and go see something like that, it's like, man, it's really some stuff out here. Like it's really some stuff that you really like, and so you can see what money buys and what like the freedom to be able to go do that. And like that was an eye-opening experience for
You know
me.
what's funny about that experience, and I'm happy that that's what that experience did to you, because the second most important reason, the third most important reason I'm learning, the third most important reason I wanted that house was A, because I love the property. It's an incredible property. B, I love what the property entails for my children. Like my kids can go there and have a blast, and like it's safe, and it's a place that they can like spend a part of their growing up and like see something there and experience like this kid paradise that never had the opportunity to experience. But my last reason, but very, very, very important reason of why I bought it was, as you know, Mav and Bron, them got a house. They got a house. They live on the same property right next door. And because of that, I could always go to Cabo for free and have a beautiful home to stay in. And that was that, because they made that available to me. And once I felt like I was in the financial position to do it, I wanted to be able to make that available to my family and my friends, you know what I'm saying, that aren't their friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so for me to be able to open that up to you, I actually spoke about this once before. I think a part of where me and Jordan Poole relationship went wrong is he was supposed to go to the house. And as you know, you may hit me up 2 months, and I'm going to put you on a text with them people the day before or email the day before, and they're going to have everything dialed. Car service, you send your flight, you send the grocery list, everything's dialed. And so, you know, life be moving, but what I'm not going to do is your date ain't going to get here and you ain't ready to go. I like what before your date get there, it's going to come back to, I need to make sure he good, right? And so I had it all dialed in and like ready for him to go. And then I hit him and I'm like, yo, so send your flight here. And he like, oh, I ain't gonna go. And I'm doing this now. And I was like, damn. I wonder if he felt like I let him down or like I ain't come through for him or I lied to him, you know what I'm saying? And it was with the house. But anyway, that was the whole purpose for it. It's like, so my friends can go there and experience that. So my rookie, you know, my young fellas can go there and experience that and see what life is like and like how people actually out here living, and that there's more to buying a house in Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't own a house in Saginaw, Michigan. I mean, I owned a couple of them in Saginaw, Michigan. I literally took them out my estate. They my mom and my grandma house. They got them. Like I don't own a home in my hometown. Like, but it's just so much more out there that we never get the opportunity to see. And I'm so thankful to Mav. Mav was the first person to take me down there. I'm so thankful just to the things that they showed me that I would have never imagined. Like to own a home in Cabo, that would have never even been a thought. Like I didn't
That's
even
my
know
point. Right.
like, and so to have someone like that's what I want to be for you and JK and like all y'all young guys, man, because I've been blessed and fortunate enough to have guys to do that for me and show me that. TNT Sports on True TV is here, and it's bringing you action for some of your favorite leagues, including live games and events from NHL, MLB, U.S. Soccer, and more. There's also a new slate of original shows and podcasts, like The Steam Room with EJ and Chuck and Above the Fold with Jamel Hill. TNT Sports is taking over primetime, making it your new destination for sports moments. Watch every night starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on True TV.
My welcome to the league moment, man. We're going to get into that. So I had a little welcome to the league moment where You know, I came off the bench. John Stockton kind of like made me turn the ball over 3-4 times, and he elbowed me. You know, then I think I socked him, and that was it. That was it for me. So John Stockton was my welcome to the league moment, where I felt like, damn, dude, like this dude is just a bully. You know what I mean? what was your welcome to the league moment?
My welcome to the league moment was probably before the season started, guarding Steph in training camp and practices and all that. And it's different seeing
There
it
it
on
is.
TV. But then when he hits you with that same move,
That boom back.
that
You
was
can't
probably
guard
my
that
welcome to
shit,
the
huh?
league moment. Yeah,
You can't guard it, huh?
ain't
It's
nothing to do
impossible
with
to
it.
guard.
That's
You
Yeah,
think,
right.
and that's the thing too. You be thinking you playing good defense because he's not going past you, but it's like he ain't trying to. He's just trying to get the
Look,
space for the shot.
I just remember, I
Lining
feel
him
like
up.
a lot, man. That dude come across half court. I remember just a few times I played against him when I was playing with the Clippers. It was like, bro, you are not about to get comfortable getting nowhere by this hash. I'm about to jump him. And I just push him on the sidelines and I
Uh,
jump him. And then I go guard somebody else.
and
I wasn't messing with Steph, dog.
it was another one too. Because my rookie year when Klay was coming back. So
Uh,
Klay, he ain't on the court yet and all that in the beginning. So then when he first started getting back on the court, they got me working out with him all the time. But like when I first started working out with him, I'm like, man, this dude been out for 2 years. Like he been hurt and all that. Like he coming back. I ain't trying to be the one to hurt him and like do nothing this and that.
yeah.
So I'm like, I ain't even really. But he ain't hooped it. He ain't hooped in a while. So he getting straight to it. And he killing. And then like I had to like forget all that, like lock in and play this and that over the time we played so much, but especially in the beginning, he'd be killing it. Just for good. But yeah.
Getting dropped off
you
and
would
they didn't
never
even know it was
expect.
coming.
Man, I'm thinking, he just trying to warm up, get back in the flow of things. Nah, he's straight to game
Nah,
6, Klay.
he looking at you like a test dummy. Hey,
Yeah.
he,
Like,
he looking at you like I
y'all
gotta.
brought in a shooting guard? Let me kill him.
Yeah, let me see. Let me get myself back fast. He like to play defense too. Okay, yeah,
Exactly.
this gonna be fun.
Man, that's funny. I got one more thing before we get out of here. I got one more question. I'm not sure if BD got another one, but what's one thing that you heard about before entering the NBA that ended up not being true? I know the thing for me was the girls in the lobby waiting on you. Like, I'm coming to the league and I'm like, where they at? Like, thirsty. Where they at? Y'all say they in the lobby, they by the bar, where they at? And and then Love and Basketball said they come to your door. I'm like, they coming to the door, where they at?
Yeah.
And I never ran to them at the bar, and they never came to my door. And it was one of the most disappointing things I ever heard.
Hey, bro, you laugh like Jay-Z. Anybody ever told you that?
Nah, I ain't heard that one.
So what was the thing for you? Is it the
Yeah.
groupies?
It will probably be really just the way that people talk about the lifestyle of not just the NBA, but the celebrity lifestyle of, like fast paced this and that. And just saying that's just the way it is. But like getting here and realizing a lot of the stuff is however you want it to be. And you can control
Yeah.
a lot more than you think. And like getting into basketball, it's like, oh, the workouts are supposed to be this much harder or this much easier. Some people say working out in the NBA is supposed to be easier or whatever they say. But it really is whatever you want it to be. Just you have more control rather than less control about certain
Totally.
stuff. That'll probably be it. Just realizing that it's the same as you when you was in high school. You are who you are, and you just in a different place now. The situation don't change you.
I will warn you that if and as you, or when, I would say when, you continue to ascend, you get to a certain point of where it ain't just what you want it to be.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think there's a time, but like there's a time where it's like, yeah, you create your thing and you got your thing, you got your routine and all that. And then you can also ascend to a certain point to where your time is no longer your time.
Oh yeah.
And that's, like that's one of the things, like, because I was the guy that I go everywhere. I do everything. I'm a man of the people. Like I'm in and I still will like go to stuff and like, but not as much because there's just more things to do. Like as you ascend, all of a sudden the shoe deals get bigger, the media deals get bigger, all these things. Well, that stuff requires time, and your time is no longer your time. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so, like I was talking to JK the other day, and I was just telling him about like when you are number one, number two, number three at an organization as a player, like there's so much more responsibility that come with that. Like you are actually in the inner workings of the organization. Like I have to have calls with Joe. You have to have calls with Mike. You have to have calls with Steve. Like all of these things. And then there's so many people, that you are in charge of. And it's not that I'm in charge of Rick Celebrini, but in a sense, you hold some responsibility for Rick Celebrini. You hold some responsibility for Danny. You hold some responsibility for KB because their success is based on your success and your performance on the court. So you take on all of these people that you don't necessarily realize that you take on right now because you're not necessarily in that position yet. I didn't understand it before I got to the position, but there's a lot that you take on. And that fast life that people talking about, sometimes it is given to you. Like what I would say, Steph never chose the life he lived. Like Steph would have chosen to just be at home with his family and that's it, and play basketball. But like Steph ascended so far, there's just so much more responsibility in things. And it ain't necessarily just how you had it and how you wanted it. And so I will warn you that, you continue to put the work in and you grow and you elevate, that can and will change.
But it's a good thing for you. You know what I mean? Because that just means you killing. You up 20, 24, 25 points a game. And, that's what you play for. Everybody plays to have, some sort of responsibility or some type of pressure. That's why we play this game. We want the pressure. We want the pressure to win. We want the pressure to be better, to be the best, to maximize our potential. So
yeah, and then it can be that too, like maximize your potential. Like whenever, like get it, they can get like that. Well, it's only gonna be like that for a certain time too, because once you stop, you can,
yep.
For Steph, it might be that way for a while after you stop too. But eventually, Steph will slow down, and it ain't like you going into something that's gonna mess up your life or whatever. It's like, nah, you just strike while the iron's hot.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I always say every 5 years, I ask myself, who do I want to be when I grow up? So you never think of yourself as whatever you are. You just, in 5 years, this is who I want to be when I grow up. And so it always keep you fresh. It always keep the goals
Yeah.
aligned. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Even like
that's a good
after
one.
basketball, I still do it. So
Yeah, Yusuf had said something to me, said something similar to that one time, just saying like he was saying everybody's a kid for real. If you think about it, like when you was qualified as a kid, it's because there's so much that you ain't been exposed to, you don't know about. Well, whatever you don't know about, you ain't been exposed to. That's why you don't know about it. So like, no matter how old you are, everybody's just an older kid than the other kid. It's 85-year-old
right.
young people out here for real.
one, I gotta tell you, Mo, shit, man. You're a lucky kid. You know what I mean? To be able to come into the league, to have Dre, to have like you come in with juggernauts, with legacy, and then to come in and win a championship. Talk to me about what was that moment like, being a young player on a championship team, even though you may not have played a lot, like what was that experience like for you and how did that help you grow to where you are now?
Yeah. So Avery Bradley did preseason with us that year. And something he told me, he was saying, summer league's nothing like preseason. Preseason's nothing like regular season. Regular season's nothing like the playoffs, and the playoffs is nothing like the finals. So being able to get to all of those spots within my first year kind of sets me up for the rest of my career, because I've been there. I've seen it all. I've seen, like, there obviously there's different stuff, but I've seen every level. And that was really cool for me. And then too, being on such a good team to where I'm not playing a lot throughout the season, not playing at all in the playoffs, but then Dallas series having a couple things go left, and now I'm playing 20 minutes a game in the playoffs and all the pressures of it, and being able to like stay composed and you nervous to a certain extent going into that game, but being able to like be okay with it and hoop and play good and get back in, like, so just being like, everybody talk about staying ready and this and that, being able to do that at this point. But I've been doing that since I've been in the NBA and doing it at the highest level too. In the playoffs, it's like everything else is easier. So being able to experience that my first year, and then like the parade and the going to Vegas, going to like doing all of that, celebrating the championship. That's all stuff I've done before too now. And life is just a compilation of experiences. So adding those to it just heightens it all.
Up, dude. Man, you're a lucky dude, man. But you earned it. You deserve it. And man, who wouldn't want to rock with Draymond Green? Me being the co-host, I already know how he is. Shit, I'm fortunate. I'm lucky, man. This dude is, one of the realest. Like, you got a dope. Y'all got a dope synergy and connection as young dude and vet. Y'all keep that shit going. You know what I mean? Like, y'all keep building on that brotherhood, and that this is an example of, how we should be. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Right.
Regardless. So I'm just kind of like almost like a fly on the wall, but I'm just admiring like the brotherhood and I appreciate y'all for, shit, for making it happen, dude. You know what I mean? It's just good to see that. Y'all got me I'm in a positive light right now, man. Y'all got me in a hella positive light.
My dog. Hey, we appreciate you, BD. And Mo Money, we definitely appreciate you coming on, bro. It's been so you've been year 4 and you on the show. You earned it though. I always say, like, I don't just want to talk to somebody because they got drafted into the NBA. I want to talk to you because you accomplished something, because you got something to talk about, because you have worked to attain a goal and you reach that goal. I want to talk to like-minded individuals. Just because you make it to the NBA, that doesn't make us necessarily like-minded individuals, right? Like, but to watch you put the work in, go earn something, even when it wasn't always in your favor, to go earn something, I respect. I love it. I appreciate both of y'all fellas. And we appreciate you, the fans. We thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Get your podcast wherever you get your podcast. You make sure you get this podcast. Take a listen. Tap in. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, that's a wrap. Peace.